Alright gang, welcome back to our Island Preservation Challenge here on Ronida Island. It is October still. We are going to do a few more things here in October, and then likely we'll jump to November at that point. First thing we're going to do is feed the chickens. Now, for all of you, it hasn't been that long, but it's been a couple of days for me, so just bear with me here. I'm going to be a tiny bit rusty here. I don't remember exactly where the drop point is. Here it is. Perfect. That's where I thought it was, but I wanted to double check it. Alright, so we gave a little bit of food to the chickens. They were getting a little low, so they're back up to where they need to be at, and looking good. So 76 chickens in there right now out of 531 that can be in there, so they're going to start moving pretty quickly here. We're going to have to make sure we've got enough food to help them survive, and right now we don't have a ton, but you know, we put that one pallet there of wheat that should hold them over for at least a month or two. And then we've got the sorghum that we can put in there. I don't really necessarily want to because the sorghum is, you know, a pretty decent price when it is time to sell it, but we have it nonetheless. So for the time being, though, we'll just leave it as those wheat, and we're going to jump into the fiat here. And I'm going to hook back up to the plow, first of all. And we're going to head back down to the field that we started working on towards the end of the last episode. We started to expand, and we're going to finish that expansion today. So the first thing we're going to do is finish this field, of course, and then we're going to make another field. Then we're going to get all of the stones up off the ground on both of the fields, and we'll probably seed one today, and then I'll probably hold off on seeding the other one. We'll jump to November, and then seed that one, and see where we're at. I don't think we will have... Well, I guess I should turn on create fields here, shouldn't I? I don't think I will have... any fields ready. Maybe not. Maybe this cotton field might be ready. It's a small cotton field. We'll find out. But either way, it won't be much as far as the harvesting goes. How's everyone doing today? Hope you're all doing well. I need to, well, quickly apologize here. Well, maybe I should apologize. So, we talked with Rusty and Krusty recently about the competitive one-tile challenge, and in yesterday's episode I said we're going to have a video. There still might be a video, but we did not get one done on Tuesday like we normally would have liked to. Rusty told us that he was good to go, and then he must have got pulled in because we haven't heard from him, and we're a little bit past time now for us to start a recording. Sounds like either if we do one, it'll be later this week, or it may be another week without competitive one-tile challenge. I am sorry about that, but it is what it is. You know, life gets in the way. All three of us, we would love to say this is our full-time job, but it's not, right? We've got real-life jobs, so things happen, man. Things happen. So what I can tell you is that it's very early on right now. I don't know exactly when it's going to happen, but Krusty and I are kind of working on a bit of a mono mini-series challenge for the both of us. And what we're going to plan to do is kind of replace that whenever Rusty can't do the competitive one-tile challenge. And to be fair, like we've talked about, there's not that many episodes left of the series, right? But whenever he can't do one, we'll you know, throw that series in. And then once we complete the one-tile challenge, Krusty and I will continue on with that challenge specifically, but then between him and I. And like I said, it's probably a mini-series, probably 30 episodes maybe, I don't know exactly, and you could say, well, the competitive one-tile challenge is around that. You're right, it is, but that's probably where we'll leave it at, though. So, but we'll see, right? We'll see. It's still in the works. We don't have anything decided. We don't have a map decided. We don't have really anything decided. It's not 100% guarantee, but still something we're kind of in the works to see if we can make it work for us or not. And then that way, at least from our perspective, and I'm talking specifically for Krusty and I, if we don't, you know, have the time or we can't get together to do the competitive one-tile challenge for the next couple of weeks or whatever, we'll have something that will replace it that will be of a similar mindset, because we know a lot of people have really enjoyed that series between the three of us. So it won't be a one-tile challenge. It'll be more of like a your traditional standardized start with 4, 5, 6 pieces of equipment, whatever it is we end up starting with. Start with the exact same amount of money, start with the exact same amount of land, and just go and see who, you know, comes out on top. No real major restrictions on it, with other than obviously, you know, the stuff that you would expect, right? No super unrealistic things, so can't place down like 50 windmills or something like that, right? You can have 1 or 2 here and there, sure, of course, but obviously keep it, you know, keep it kosher, right? Don't go to anything too crazy. So we'll see. We're working on it. We'll see what we come up with. We're not quite sure what map yet, and we're not quite sure what equipment and all that stuff, but we'll see how it goes. More than likely, I will have Crest2 run or host it this time. The one tile challenge I've been hosting, and we've just noticed there's been not as much lag for me, but a little bit more lag for the guys. So, you know, Crest2's on PC, I'm on Xbox, so we're going to let him run it and see how it goes. If it's the same thing, then I guess it doesn't really matter as we move forward, but in other words, if he's perfectly fine, which I would assume he would be, and I'm, you know, lagging all over the place, then it really doesn't matter which one of us hosts at that point. But yeah, how's everyone doing today? Hope you're doing well. I'd also like to, you know, I've been talking about, you know, having the yard expansion and everything over to the left here. It's going to be a little bit before we get that money, but what I think I would like to do more than anything is put down a shed or 2 up there in our initial starting plot. We should have some room there to put down a small shed, nothing crazy. We don't really have the money for it right now, and we're not going to have the money for it really today, but I would like to do that, I think. I don't think it's necessarily a problem to put one over there. So we'll look into doing that here soon. I might have mentioned that in the last episode. I don't recall. It's been a couple of days for me. I was gone this past weekend, and I realize the time this is coming out, it's literally almost the next weekend, but so yeah, this field is a pretty large field, really. The next field we're going to put in down there will not be as large, but it'll still be a big field. It'll still be a big field. Now, soon enough here, we are likely going to have to start, you know, buying some more of the manual harvesters. I mentioned that, you know, prior, that, you know, we're going to be really doing the manual harvesting for quite a while. Everything else we're going to kind of upgrade as we move along here and get bigger equipment that helps speed things up, for sure. But the harvesting is going to stay that way for a while. You know, we don't have a harvester right now. We have $5,000 to our name right now, and you know, so we're going to need to get some more clothes made, and then sell those to really start to actually expand further when it comes to harvesting and things of that nature. But that is coming very, very soon as well, right? As soon as we started getting some more cotton going, you saw what happened, right? We were able to get a lot of stuff. Seeder, planter, plow, stone collector. We were able to get a lot of things, right? And realistically, this secondary plot of land too, right? So now we do have some cotton over there on the side with the sheep that we will need to take and drop off. At least I think we still have some over there. I actually should double check that now that I said that, but I'm pretty sure we have some over there. I don't think we picked that up. I think we left that for this episode, I think. But maybe I'm wrong. Let's just take a peek here, because I probably am wrong. I normally am. No, we didn't bring it over there. We did not. So, was there? Oh yeah, one and a half really. So not really a ton. It probably isn't going to get us another pallet of clothes, unfortunately. But you know, it is what it is. Now there is actually a pretty nice harvester out here. I think I talked about this in the last episode, but the problem is, you know, to buy all the, ooh, look at this tractor. Anyway, to buy it and everything that, you know, comes with it, and then have to get the palletizer going, right? We're not quite there yet. We're not quite there yet. Soon enough we will be, but we're not quite there yet. So I think what we're going to do here is we're going to try to keep this line kind of going. I'm just going to put a bit of a break there, so, you know, if I use a worker or anything like that, they know this is supposed to be another field and not the same field. Not a major one, just a small one here. We're going to try to keep this on the straight and narrow here as much as I can. I'm using a controller here, so it's not going to be perfect. Although I do try to make, you know, most of the lines in my fields as straight as I can make them, because I don't really like having a bunch of uneven lines, if that makes sense. We're going to kind of have to here, because we're going to be going against the edge here, or up against the edge of the beach here, and we're not allowed to go into the beach, right? We're not allowed to do anything on that beach. There's a restriction on that. I got a little bit too close in our big, massive coastal cotton field, so I'm just trying to give ourselves a little bit more space here to make sure that doesn't happen again, because, you know, it's not a perfectly straight area. It cuts out like that, like you can just see there, right? So I'm just kind of trying to stay away from that as much as I can. So I'm going to stop right there for now, and we're going to head back down here. Try to do the same thing here. Try to keep a straight line kind of following down to here, so that way I know where to stop there on that coast edge. And it's not going to be perfect, I've said that, but as long as it's relatively straight here and following this, then I'm going to be pretty happy with it. Alright, this at least gives me a line, an idea basically where I need to stop this coastal portion of this field, right? I think that's going to be about as good as I'm going to get for the time being. So we've got to get the rest of this field done, and then we'll get the stone collector out. We'll get the stones all picked up, and then we're going to seed. Now, as far as seeding goes, or planting, in this series, there's no restrictions because we're not playing with seasons on, right? So it's very weird for me. I'm not used to doing that. And I've mentioned this a number of times already on this series, but it's the truth. I don't really have a whole lot of you know, the crops memorized and how long it takes them to grow and things like that, right? I'm trying to do the best I can to kind of offset things as much as I possibly can, so I don't have 8 fields all to harvest at the same time, and then for the next 4 months, we really don't have a whole lot to do, right? But it's definitely not a foolproof thing. I'm definitely going to have some issues with that for sure. So, let's see. What should we put in? You know, we've got 2 relatively large cotton fields here. I think another cotton field probably makes sense at this point. I think it'll be this smaller field down here that will make a cotton field. But I'm going to hold off on doing the cotton in this field. I think I'm going to do that in the next month, in November. So what are we going to do in the big field here? Quick autosave. Well, let's see. Right now, the only production we realistically have is 4 clothes, right? Obviously, we would like to make a little bit more. Ooh, I'm wondering if that's going to think it's too close. I might have to paint this. I think it's going to think it's 1 field, even though we left some space between it. It might. I might have made it too close again. Trying to utilize every bit of space as I possibly can. Well, no, that one actually thinks it's the same, so maybe it'll be okay. All right, what crop are we going to do? We've got sunflowers in 1 already. We've got soybeans in 1. Or 2 of them, actually. These are peas and then 2 cotton fields. So really, we can put anything, really, in. I think, honestly, we'll do maybe sorghum. We don't have a sorghum field anymore, so maybe we should do sorghum. Sorghum, you know, it gives us a decent amount of money, realistically. And it can be utilized for the chickens if we absolutely have to. Of course, like I said, maybe that's not the smartest play. Maybe we should do a wheat field or something to feed the chickens, right? Because we don't really have any way to feed the chickens. And I feel like we're going to need to. And we don't really have anything planted to feed the chickens right now. Okay, so I think that's just made our mind up there. I think realistically, I don't think either one of these fields are going to be a cotton field, at least initially. But perhaps, hopefully, later on that will change. But right now, I think we should kind of focus on doing a sorghum. Let's just do 2 sorghum fields. Let's just do that. And yeah, we're going to use some of it for the chickens. I get it, but... And it'd be better off probably utilizing wheat or things like that. But we don't really have a use for the straw. The straw is going to give us the same issue that we've been having, right? Which is we can't do anything with the straw right now until we start getting some animals that require that bedding. Or we turn the straw into, you know, we get a production where we can turn the straw into something. Like there's like a straw hat production I know about. I used that in FS22, one of the very, very beginning. When I first started doing recordings of Farming Simulator, I know for a fact I used that in FS22, and I did see that it released, I don't know, it's been a while now, but it released recently on Mod Hub, so, you know, that's an option, but I do know that that production is not cheap. It's like 50 grand, I think, and we don't have anywhere near 50 grand. Once we sell some clothes, yeah, we will, but, like I said, that's going to be a while before we sell that many clothes. All right, so those are both done. So yeah, let's do. Well, we're only gonna seed one of them in October, but let's get the stones picked up. Let's seed probably the bigger field here with sorghum. Yeah, and then we'll probably skip to the next month, and we'll see where we get to, right? After we, of course, we take the clothes over here, the wool over the clothes. After we take the wool over here, of course, right? We're gonna need gas soon too, which means we gotta make a trip to the shop. All right, well, this is taking a little bit longer than I thought, and I'm having a hell of a time here with the lines here. They are not going the way that I actually anticipated or thought they were going to go, which is the reason why I was having such issues. But I also was noticing, you know, just it looks very, very weird when you go in here into the menu. It has the outline that we plowed up in the last episode, but what we did now, it still shows green like it's a grass field. So very weird. I'm not really sure why or what's happening there, but regardless, we're going to have to do kind of another mini headland pass here because I've just missed some spots as we were going along here, but that's okay. We're making at least progress on it, so we'll take that, right? Oh, the microphone just started to fall down. Everything's just falling apart right now. I don't know what's going on. My monitor just decided to fall off its stand just recently, too. It's just all kinds of things are just going wrong. But it's taken us a long time to do this field. A lot of it was because I was fighting with the lines, but I even had to turn them on for a little while just so I could actually figure out what it wanted me to do. The way that I look at the field, I would have thought it would have been faster to go this way, horizontally right here, but it wants me to go the other way, so whatever. It is what it is. We are definitely going to need gas. I'm tempted to get it before we do anything on that field over there. But we're definitely going to need some gas. Definitely. Probably wait and do it in the next month, though. Once we rest and go to November here in a little bit, we'll probably do it then. Although this is taking a lot longer than I actually anticipated to take as well as far as the episode goes. We're still got plenty of time, but that was a long time lapse, right? It seems to be kind of the thing here for this series is I'm doing a lot of time lapses and a long time lapses just because it's taking me longer to do things than I anticipate it's going to take. I might also change my mind as well. I was thinking about it during the time lapse of that, you know, field over there. It might make more sense to do something else over there, like I was mentioning. The reason why I'm saying that is because we do have that field in the middle, that really tiny, skinny field in the middle. Eventually, those three fields are going to be combined together into one, like I mentioned. It might be better for us to put sorghum in that field. The cotton's either going to be ready next month or it's going to be ready in December, that little middle strip there. What we have in there is next to them, I should say, is soybeans, so they're going to be a while. And if we put sorghum in it might end up being a perfect time where they're all three ready to harvest, and then that way we can actually combine them and we don't have fields just sitting there not being utilized, right? So we might go that approach. Obviously that field is significantly smaller than this field over here to the left, but you know, we might go that approach. It really is going to depend on if that field is ready to harvest in November or not. Part of me feels like it's not going to be, but quick autosave here. If we look at it from the perspective of growth, it's relatively dark, but I don't know. It may not be ready, actually, now that I'm seeing it. It might be another stage. It is cotton, after all, right? It takes a long time, cotton does. That's why you get a decent amount of money if you're able to turn it into clothes. Realistically, speaking of that cotton, what we should attempt to try to do soon is get some kind of a fabric production down, and then we can take the wool and put that into the wood and the cotton, for that matter, and put it into a fabric production, which then, in turn, should, in the long run, give us slightly more when it comes to clothes, because we can take the cotton and the wool and put it into fabric first, and then the fabric can go into Grandma's knitwear at that point, right? Now I'm going down this pass here, and I realize I'm potentially wasting a little bit of time here because there's not every single spot that I missed, but this is about the areas that I missed at, so I'm just trying to hit them real quick just to make sure we get it, the whole field drilled, right? All right, we just got to get this little strip here and go back to the other side, and we should be done with this field. We just need to move the cotton over, and then we can rest until November. Then we'll likely, like I said, head to the shop, get some gas for this. Because we're going to need it. And I don't want to get stuck in a field when it starts flashing red, and we're going to put ourselves in a pretty bad spot. So we'll suffer and, you know, take the $300-400 cost for gas just to make sure we don't have that issue happen, right? Let's go grab the trailer here. We'll put the cotton up there, or the wool up there. Keep getting them backwards. Saying wool for cotton and cotton for wool. Okay, here we are. Throw these up top. Should only take a few seconds. And we want to turn on Grandma's knitwear, because I do believe we have it off. We do. So we'll turn it on, put the wool on. We'll head on back. Sheep are still good, doing good. They have plenty of grass there, and even if they didn't, we have tons of grass in our silage silo that we really can't do anything with right now either, right? We need more animals for that too, but... I'm just going to pull this one off. I'm afraid if I get any closer to that field, we'll start killing some of that crop. We don't really want to do that. Okay, so we should be good now to move to November, so I will see you in November. Alright, gang, welcome to November. A very foggy November at that. Can't even hardly see all of our land here because of how much fog we've got. We're going to pick up some pallets here. I think we did get one pallet of clothes out of that, which is pretty awesome. That's really going to help us tremendously. We'll probably go and sell those, and we're going to head down and get the gas like I talked about here for the tractor, but we'll pick up the pallets here and kind of move them around first. Well, actually, I probably shouldn't even move this one. There's probably not enough there. Yeah, it's not even worth it. But we'll head over here. We'll pick up the pallets of... crickets. If there's a pallet of clothes, we'll pick that up as well. I understand I'm not going to get the best price right now, but really, we could use the money. We're going to be struggling here in a little bit if we don't, right? Gotta make a really wide turn here so I don't kill any of this crop. I really don't want to kill anything. There is a pallet of clothes there, so that's good. That's going to help. What is the clothes price right now? Like I said, it's not going to be great. If we hold on till April, May, or whatever, that'd be a lot better, but... 13,582. Yeah, not fantastic, as a matter of fact. Maybe we don't. There's a water tank out here. That would be a nice upgrade for what we currently have. Again, we don't have the money for it. You know what? We're gonna sell the clothes now, though. So we still owe a little bit of money back. From what we made, right? And so since we're taking a pretty big loss here where we could technically keep it, we'll sell them now. That will help offset some of that cost. It also helps us right now too. But not only that, we're going to take this money and, like I said, utilize it to probably put down some kind of a shed or something. That's not really what we would do with this instance, or what we would need to do in this instance, I should say. We don't really need to do that for quite a while, right? So... yeah, we'll do that. Looks like the cotton is not ready. I thought that might be the case after I looked a little closer at it, but I bet it's going to be December. Yeah, well, they might be ready. Both those fields might be ready, as a matter of fact. So I guess we'll find out. Eggs should be best in November, so we'll sell those too. There's not a whole lot of eggs there, but we're going to sell them anyway. So this should be nice, right? Getting all of this sold. It should be nice. We'll also look at the sorghum. I think sorghum is January. So we've got a couple pallets of sorghum, like I mentioned. We might want to keep them for the chickens, though, because we're not really going to have any way to feed the chickens. But it seems like right now the chickens are okay. They've got 1,000 liters of food in there. If we do sell them, maybe what we do is keep one pallet back for the chickens, just to try to keep them going until we have another, harvest that we can use on them, right? We just certainly don't want to run into an issue where we can't feed our chickens and they're not producing, right? Because the eggs are pretty decent money for what they are. Nice. 3 pallets of crickets. Nice, nice, nice. Yeah, so we've got like 2 full pallets and then a partial pallet, so hopefully that's the case and we can maybe keep one of those back and then just sell the other 2 for a little bit of extra money. I'm going to move the eggs here. Whoop, too far. Alright, that should be enough room for me to get the other one up here. We'll also look at the used market here in a second. I don't think there's going to be a whole lot in there for us because, like I said, we're not going to have a ton of money, but maybe we'll get lucky. Maybe something will be in there for us. You never know. You never know. All right. So we'll turn that off, leave that there. I'm going to restrap everything just to be safe, and we'll head on down to the shop. And while we're doing that, let's see what's in the used market. It's only that. We did look at that already. Never mind. We already looked at that. Duh. Come on, Z. Get it together, buddy. Get it together. Okay, so with this money, we're going to put down a shed and kind of work on the yard a little bit. Probably put down a small house as well. Kind of get rid of what we've been utilizing, which has been kind of a stretch as well for realistic approach, right? We were kind of sleeping in the greenhouse, if you will. We definitely could do it. There's not a problem with doing that. It would be a little hot in there, but you definitely could do it. So we'll put down probably a tiny house, just a hobo house or whatever it was. I think it's the hobo pack, but the tiny house. We'll put one of those down. And just kind of build up that little mini yard, if you will. Again, not going to be our full yard for that quadrant. As I mentioned a couple episodes back, or maybe the last episode back, that my kind of goal is to make 4 like little quadrant yards for those areas. So that way I don't have to drive things all the way across the map. That is, if we need all 4 quadrant maps. We might not, right? Might just be we're sufficient with what we got, and we're trying to buy the rest of the map because that's part of the rules, right? Okay, so we ended up getting $26,942. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Kind of makes me think I should maybe buy that water tank, but I don't think we really need it right now. I really don't. We only have one production that really requires water, so. Yeah, I don't think it's worth our time right now, so we'll hold off on it. So we do a quick auto save. I'll meet you back at the farm because we really can't buy this yet. I think it's 40 something yet, 40. So we're close, but I'll meet you back at the yard. Okay, gang. So here's what I'm thinking. It's going to cost $15,000. This should, in theory, clear out the remaining amount of money that we kind of owed to give back. Obviously, we kind of want this shed, so not to that same extent, but we took a pretty big loss. Excuse me. when it comes to the cotton. And we're going to do some more painting, some more sand painting around on the grounds as well to kind of clean this up. So I'm going to put the shed here, and then the house is going to be kind of up near where the current home is of the rice sapling greenhouse, kind of up in that region. That's what I'm thinking. Maybe changes, but that's what I'm thinking for now. This gives us a lot of open room there in the middle that we can maneuver stuff around, or we should be able to maneuver stuff around. So we're going to go ahead and place it down here. And it should be relatively flat here. There shouldn't have been a whole lot of land manipulation of any sort. There's definitely going to be some. I'm not saying there won't be any, but it should be minor. It's going to give us a lot of, we're going to spend a lot of money right here to kind of land manipulating this around, because it's not always flat, but it is flat-ish. That's what I should say, flat-ish. It's probably a better statement than what I've been saying, and I probably need to move some of this equipment around so I can really smooth it, but, you know, it's good enough for the time being. We'll work on it some more. So let's get some sand here. Let's kind of continue this in the yard area. Where's our sand at? There's just so many textures on this map. Now I gotta make sure I get the right sand. It's been a couple of days here, so let's just make sure we get the correct one here. Is it this one? Sure looks like that one. If it's not, guess we're going with a different texture if it's not. What this also does is kind of open up the areas here in between this a little bit more, right? Gives us a little bit more room to maneuver. That is pretty severe. I'm going to have to work on that some more. I'm going to leave some space here between this field and the yard area, like I normally would. Okay. And then I'm going to actually kind of expand this area here just a little more. It was a little tight on that corner. I don't want to go too close, though, because it will start killing some of the crop there. We don't want to do that, but there should be a little bit of room for us to kind of expand this just ever so slightly here. Alright. That's really going to be the best we can do in that certain instance, or circumstance, I should say. And this opens this up a lot, right? This makes it look a lot better. A lot better. I'm going to try to smooth this out. I don't know if it's going to let me, because it might be too close to the greenhouse, but if it lets me smooth it, I'm going to try to smooth this out a little bit, because it's driving me crazy just a little bit here. Just want to try to make it a little bit better. I know some people are going to be like, you're wasting tons and tons of money doing this kind of stuff, but again, we did have to spend some money to pay back stuff, and there wasn't really a good way for me to do that, because I am on console. I can't just go in and remove money, right? So I thought this was the best way to go about it. You know, work on making a yard and putting things down that we normally would not do in this instance at this period of time. We'd be wanting to save this money, right? And try to expand further before we go this route. So I think overall it makes a lot of sense what we're doing here. I just noticed something. How did I miss that when I was doing it? Our stones are gone. Where did our stones go? I guess it doesn't really make that big of a difference, right? We're going to have so many stones, it really doesn't matter. But That, yeah. That's something that I wasn't really anticipating happening right there. Okay, well, alright then. So what is this? A bench. That didn't really look like a bench for some reason in the picture to me. I don't know what it looked like, but it didn't look like a bench. So this is what I'm talking about, you know, the tiny house, okay? We've used this a ton, but it is a part of the Hobo Farmhouse Packers, which I mentioned. I don't know exactly where to put this, honestly. I thought about up here, but now that I look at it, I'm not quite sure that's where I want to put it either. I mean, it probably makes sense to put it over here with Grandma's Knitwear, but, you know, this is probably an area where you're going to want to put a couple more small productions. So maybe that's not exactly where we should put it either. Well, no matter where I put it, it's going to be wrong at this point, I think. So why don't we put it up here in the corner? I mean, eventually we're going to have a different house anyway, right? This is just a, you know, temporary long-term home for a while. We have to build a dream home. It's part of the rules, right? So let's go there. That gives me a little bit of room to turn. Alright, so that's that. So we can remove this. If I can actually select the right thing here. This is going to be probably difficult to do. Okay, the bench is gone. There's our new house. This is our new area. We're going to put all this stuff away here soon. I'm not too concerned about doing it right now. We've got some things we need to do. When we were at the shop, of course I did. I did not get the gas. I'm sure somebody is already yelling at me in the comments about it, and rightfully so. You should be. That was a mistake on me. It is what it is, right? It happens, right? It happens. So, the gas station, well, there's one in the front. I don't even know where that is. I don't think I've ever seen that one. I'll meet you at the gas station, I guess. So I guess it's just this tank straight ahead of us, I guess. Yep. Alright, cool. $200, that's not bad at all. Man. Wish I could get that much gas for $200 nowadays. Alright, so we're going to head back. We're going to grab the planter again. And we're going to get the other field planted. Now that we kind of have the yard, mini yard, set up. That won't be going away either. That little shed that we put in, and that, well, the house probably will, but that shed won't be going away. It'll be there. We'll find things to put in there, I assure you. We'll, like I said, we're going to kind of go from a, you know, corner quadrant to other quarter quadrant approach. And our main yard is going to be literally just right next to that, so it's not going to be a big deal that it's a little bit over there. We'll utilize it for some things, probably things we don't use as often. We can store in there. What it does do is it allows us to put, you know, our seeder and our planter in there, right? That's going to be a huge help for us. Getting them out of the weather, out of that whole situation is only going to be a helpful bonus for us, right? It's only going to be helpful, so. I think there's enough seeds in there for us to do the field, so I'm not going to fill it up. I'll leave it be. The other thing that we noticed on this map, I say we, I was talking with Crustu about this map specifically, and the thing that we've noticed is, you know, if you think you're going to have a decent amount of things out there in the used market, but you really don't. A lot of them don't show up until later on in the day. So, you know, starting at 8 a.m. like we normally do, it doesn't really benefit us that much from the used market perspective because most of that stuff in there, there's not really much in there. Well, it fixed itself, so I guess we just needed to wait till the next month. I don't know. But it fixed itself, so I guess I can't really complain too much because we now have a full field here. Okay, let's get this field done. It really won't take us too long, as a matter of fact, before we do this, though. Okay, this one wants us to go up and down. The other one, for whatever reason, doesn't. Very weird, but whatever. I'm not going to complain anymore. Let's get to work. All right, gang, we're all done. And so is this episode. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you smash the like and subscribe button. That was easy for me to say this time. Smash the like and subscribe button in case you've yet to do so. They're free. They help me out an absolute ton. Thanks to my members for all their continued support. It really does mean the world. If you want early access to videos like this one, including a members-only series that occurs once a month, there's a link down below. Make sure you check out my second channel. Check out the Discord if you want to share anything that you're working on, progress towards anything, questions, etc. I will get to those, just like I will get to all the comments that I'm still delayed on getting to. I will have them all done by the end of this weekend for sure, 100%, if not sooner. Once again, thanks for watching. Thanks for all your continued support, and I'll see you next time.